Hello punters, how are you? How's your day? I hope you're well. I am here in the amazing UK with someone that you might recognise. It's Ben Deakin! How's it going, Ben?
Mate, hi sports fans.
As you guys know, my channel is all about progression. Just so happens that Deakin is a coach. So he's going to look at my mountain biking skill and he's going to figure out what's wrong and how I can get better and how I can get faster.
We'll make it happen, mate.
Now, if you're interested in getting some coaching from Ben, I'm going to put a link in the description below. You can click on that and go and get some great coaching if you're in the southwest of the UK. Right, let's go right.
Let's do it, man. This is a track that Paul has ridden about 10 times previously. So we're just going to check and see how he rides. He's not doing too badly. You sort of see he's very breaky, stoppy rather than just flowing. Well, that's loose down there.
How did that look, Ben?
Very stoppy starty, mate, if I'm honest. It was pedally breaky, and we've got some perfect corners to go through this later on.
Let's go and have a look at that. So, as you just saw, Ben says that I'm going around corners and I'm doing lots of stop starting. I'm sure you punters at home do the same thing. On the brakes too much, and then it's like He's brought me here to these turns.
The reason why I said what I said earlier, stop starting, go flat into a turn, and then you forget to look where you're going to, because you're almost making two turns out of one turn. Flying into a turn, you're braking, you then go, oh, that's one going over there. So what we're going to try and eliminate that exact thing. So what we're going to try and do is make these turns as flowy, as sort of nice as possible. When you're coming into this turn, we want to think about where our exit point is, rather than, if you saw Paul earlier, fair enough, it was a track that he didn't really know, but the problem was he was almost like, oh, turn, oh, that's where I'm going, and then he's making an extra turn for himself. All the way through these turns, we want to think about doing all our braking nice and early, and we want to carry as much speed through each corner as we can. So how I do that is braking point, and then as I'm coming into the turn, I'm going to look to my exit, and I'm going to carry as much flow and speed as I can. Biggest problem with a lot of people is they come flying into a turn normally too fast than what they're used to, and they normally look into the apex of the turn. The biggest problem with that is, great, certainly on a track like this, you're going flying, but that's when the whole instinct of braking comes around, because you're suddenly like, oh god, there's a corner, where am I going next? So one in slow-mo, I'm coming into the corner, I'm brake checking, I'm looking to my exit, and I'm carrying speed.
What? That was nuts, mate.
Right, so I've done it slow-mo, I've done it fast. Now it's your time, Paulus.
Alright, I'll give her a go.
Yep, he's like a lost sheep. The first one was quite good. The second one, the reason why that happened is the fact that you didn't look out the turn early enough, and that's why the front wheel sort of oversteered or understeered. I don't know, my oversteered and understeered. But
it's in the front wheel went too high?
The front wheel went too high, and I think the main reason for that is you're going in too hot for the corner, so you want to think slightly about brake checking, and you just want to look out the turn slightly earlier.
So maybe
a little dab, maybe a tiny one, or even, and this is a bit more of an advanced technique, is thinking about pumping slightly earlier into the turn. But we haven't really got there yet. We've just thought about the braking and where we're looking.
That's day two, Paul. That's day two. Alright, let's try again.
Yeah, here we are. Right, so the problem we've got with Paul is generally, as he's coming into this, we haven't looked at the pumping technique yet. But the biggest problem is his body position as he's going into this. So he's not looking out the turn early enough. So the problem we've got with that is he's very much looking wherever his bars are sort of going, rather than looking to where he wants to be. He needs to just look at this turn a lot earlier, and hopefully that should make him a lot smoother. Loads better. That's loads better.
I didn't brake in between the turns. I braked in the turn. That stands your bike up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I was looking, and it's so funny, like, even just, like, you can feel your shoulders pulling.
Yeah.
I just did it out there, and I was like, oh,
even then, that was a lot better. You might not have felt it, but it definitely was 100 times better than the first one.
Sick.
But over exaggerate now, really thinking of looking out that turn.
Yeah, alright.
That's better though, eh?
Yeah, that is mint. Just simple things.
Well, simple things for simple minds, right?
Yeah. Ben, jump.
Right, so the reason why I'm talking about jumps is we've just looked at corners. Naturally, we're now looking at jumps. Now, I know you don't want to triple this. This is what we've obviously had to do to get into these corners. There's two slightly different techniques we'd use on this. Now, obviously at speed, to get from there to there, you can only go so fast. If you're struggling to get any more speed, you need to utilize the pop technique, which we won't talk about in too much detail. You're jacking the box, you're applying the pressure through the bike, and then you're unweighting the bike. However, the other thing you can do is scrub, or maybe not to scrub as far as the Gwynny ones, but basically push through a jump. If I've got the speed coming into this, I can either just think about relaxing to get over the jump, or I can even just push the bike down to keep it down to the floor. So if you're coming at speed, you know, and you're going to maybe case that, that's where you might want to think about pushing the bike down into this first landing rather than popping for the second, and it will all come clear where I'm going to take you to the next place, and we're going to look at the two differences.
Oh, let's go. Give it a bit of a go.
Right, I will. So double step down, another step down, you'll be fine. Right, let's watch him. Big case. Oh, big case. What a squid. Right, that do! Pop! Big push up for him. As we've lost Paul to Timbuktu, let's do another one and catch him in a minute. So, first double. Step down, another step down. Right, so the first one was fine. The second one, obviously, you didn't really try that hard.
No, I didn't know what was there. I didn't pull up.
So, first one, you just want to literally cruise through. Think of it as almost a racer setup jump, so you just want to think about pushing the bike through it. Second one, really think about popping. So as you're hitting the lip, think about compression, like a jack in the box almost. You're compressing into the takeoff.
With your feet?
With your feet, all with your feet, not with your hands, and then you're popping.
Yeah, because I definitely just, sometimes just go for
you don't want to be doing any hucking. Touch the sky, you always die. Right.
I've changed gear, I'm just going to go a bit faster.
Bit faster, keep the first one really smooth, second one pop. And I'll give you a bit more of a space this time. Here he is in his RNLI jacket. For you Americans, the RNLI is the Royal Navy Lifeboat Institution, I think. Go on, lad. That's better.
Well, I went for it a bit more. I didn't come down with my feet enough.
No, you need to really push into the takeoff a bit more.
Faster, again.
Faster, smoother. Pedal like it's the world champs, lad. Definitely getting there. This landing, just think about being a lot smoother. So you're just pushing into the landing as well.
Heels down on the landing.
Yeah.
Like landing gear.
Right, you've got it this time, mate. Heels down, loads of pop in. Oh, he's still casing it. It's close enough.
No, I'll take it. If it was dry, really slow. What else do races say? It's really slow.
Tyre pressures could have been a bit harder.
Could have had my tyres harder.
Could have got rid of your RNLI jacket and
there's
put
like
a bit
wind
of
resistance.
Exactly, skin suit.
Easy. It's just winter, isn't it? It's winter. Okay, now Ben is a bit of a don when it comes to local races.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Yeah, and I suck at racing. So one thing I really want to do this year is get faster. And there's one type of trail as well. It's perfect, this way. So this trail is a perfect example of when I really suck. Trail is right here, but you can't see where you're going. And that's where the fear comes in. And that's where I start over braking and doing all that stuff then.
All that braking, all the looking at the floor and all that good stuff. First of all, combat indicators is you've got to analyse the trail and establish what is going on. The same principles apply. We still need to think about braking early. If we going into that like a steam train, obviously straight away we're going to be in the wrong position on the bike and all that good stuff. So we still need to do our braking nice and early prior to the corner.
Where would you be trying to get on and off the brakes?
If it is me, I'm coming in maybe a bit quicker than yourself, so I'll be braking earlier, potentially to slow down at a reasonable pace. If it is you, you might want to think about braking slightly later, but either way, the whole purpose of this is we want to brake here. We don't want to go flying into the corner, which you normally see. If you go to your normal bike park, you'll see every Tom, Dick and Harry go into a corner, braking and then going, oh, that's where I'm going. I still want to look as far around that turn as I can.
One thing I definitely do is, like, say here, you can only see the, I guess, the middle part of the turn. So at what point do you start, like, are you literally looking through this hedge? Are you looking at the end of the trail?
I'm almost trying to look to the end of the trail. So as we said, if you're driving your car down a country lane, I'm looking to where the two hedges meet, because that almost...
So like...
So if we look from up there, you can almost see, when you're at the top there, you can't see where the trail is where I am now.
No.
However, you can probably see the trail where you're there.
Would you like break it into two parts? Say you're getting into the turn here, and you're looking at where the two hedges meet, or are you doing it and then you're going boom and then making two movements? You know what I mean? Or is it just one?
I want to try and be as fluid as possible. We're trying to get as smooth and as fluid as possible, but most importantly is your upper body is going to dictate where you go. As we said earlier, if you look to the tree, what you're going to hit, the tree. So we want to just think about looking as far ahead as possible, and that will enable you to carry a bit more flow and speed and look cool on the trail.
Show me how to look cool, Ben.
Alright, break.
What? That was so fast. I don't know how I can go faster than that, and that's my problem.
You want to think a lot more about using the terrain to your advantage. So you want to do a lot of pumping, which we haven't really covered in this video, but I'm sure on Ben Deakin's channel you might
oh, subscribe to Ben Deakin. So then how do I, once I get that fine, I feel comfortable, am I just trying to brake earlier and earlier before the turn?
Not earlier and earlier, but obviously it all depends how fast you're going. But you want to, the whole idea of braking early is to not brake at all through the turn. Now obviously there's a difference between speed control braking and comfort braking. You want to get to the point where every corner you're actually finishing the turn faster than when you went in, and generally how you get that is by braking early.
Alright. I was just thinking about looking ahead.
Massive difference,
I know I went faster.
Well, the problem is, when you look down, your weight's going to be in the wrong place. If you just look slightly further ahead, your weight is actually going to be far more suited into the bike.
I've never heard that before, Ben.
But we won't go into too much depth because it costs you.
That's for part two.
Better. That looked a lot better.
I've never gone around a corner so fast in my life.
Genuinely, or you just
seriously, and I can really feel by looking ahead that my weight is on my feet. I've never thought to think about that. I hope everyone at home enjoyed that free tip. Go subscribe to Ben Deakin's YouTube channel. I'll put another link up there just for fun. You should see his face.
I give you that.
Ben's going to see if all his coaching has made the difference, and I've become a 60-second track warrior like you.
Maybe, something like that. Don't go crashing, because it means we have to redo it.
Look at you, I haven't even broken a sweat. Not even breathing.
Good fun though, eh?
I can tell I need to practice it, because like a couple of times I wasn't looking and they'd be like, "Oi, you're not looking." Buddy, it's made a difference. Alright punters, thanks for watching. Ben's channel up there, go and subscribe to it again. There's my channel, probably a video on my face. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Go and pay Ben money for his coaching. See you next time.